I'd like to know how these go. I get some feedback off the YouTube channel, but not really an indication as to how many people are actually looking at them or whatever. And attendance has certainly dropped off.
Yeah, I see that. I just figured that was holidays, but
Well, it
you're
could be, of course. Who knows? Yeah.
so the note takers, that's what you're talking about, right? Or just the recordings that you're putting on YouTube.
Well, I get two recordings for that reason. One of them is the recording from Zoom. That's the one that I generally put on YouTube. But I also get a a backup one happening in case something goes wrong with the other one, which it has on a few occasions. Yeah,
So what does the note taker do? Is that like text? Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
That
a
that that's a
transcript?
good. Yeah, that records the video and it produces a summary and a transcript. So the transcript is the word by word of everything that we've said, and you can search through that and find key phrases, say, and then when you find it and click on it, it'll take you to that part of the video as well. So you can actually watch it or you can read the words that were said.
That's interesting. Like I would like to I think I'll check into that because 3 hours is a long time to commit, when you're not actually there. I guess it seems like, but what's the difference, right? If you're not going to talk anyway, it seems to me that would be good to like look at an AI, summary and then go, oh yeah. And then you can find it in the transcript. I'm gonna take a look at that. I just haven't looked at the recordings because basically I go to them most of the time.
Hmm. Well, it's Fathom. I can send you the link for the Fathom one if you want.
Oh, so you don't post those?
No, I don't post that one.
I
No,
gotcha.
but I'll get the link for it. And if you like, I'll send it to you and you can have a look at it. And then if you like it, you can download Fathom yourself. You can. It's automatic. Once you set it up, it does it. You don't have to intervene at all. It just does it. Mm.
Oh, and I could have it for myself. So what about
Or I can just send you the link to it each week if you like, each meeting.
so on when you get on YouTube, like I'm noticing that the AI buttons for in summarizing the video, they're starting to show up more and more. Uh, that would be to have them on every video would be great. Like
Mm. All right, I'll start including the Fathom link to it as well. And yeah.
that'd be great. Yeah. So after the meeting last week, like it was the next day. I was uh I was just kind of relaxed and I've been kind of like slowing down, just relaxing. And anyway, so I went into our sitting room, and I was I was actually just you know what I was watching the Fetter one, the first Fetter one video of Pernella's, and I don't know, just like I kind of like it's like a recliner, so I like reclined back, and I was just kind of saying, let me just listen to this in a meditative state, not really worrying about trying to get anything, and then so I wasn't really, I'm not even sure if I was concentrating on the material or what, but I was just kind of laid back here. And then it seemed like something else put this idea in front of me. And the idea was doubt is just a thought. And like as soon as that idea came across, I felt this feeling of like deflation, like like a good feeling of like my like relief. And then like immediately after that, then there was like a thought, like it seemed like it was more localized, right? Like the first thought or whatever it was came in from the side. And then right after that, it was like, oh, if it's only a thought, that means it's not even a thing. It doesn't exist. And then another wave came. I was like, oh, I got even more relaxed. And then after that, I was like, wait a minute. If that's just a thought, that means all feelings and emotions are just thoughts. Like, and then there was another wave of like, whoa, coming down. Like, I was like, I don't know what that was, but it's hung on for like the whole week, and I just been it's almost like a shadow was lifted a little, like so now I can like there's less of a cloud in my vision, and I can see more things for some, and like I can feel like doubt trying to sneak in around the edges, like, and every once in a while I'll feel it come around, and I'm like, oh, there's doubt, like, and I do take this. I mentally go, oh yeah, look, it's just a thought, and then sometimes, like, normally it just goes away, and I don't even go to sensation after that, but it just and then today I'm sitting here like I'm having sticky thoughts where I was just running through how am I going to describe this? Like, how, and it keeps running through my head. And so then all of a sudden I just realized, like, oh my God, there it is. It's stuck itself right in front of my face, so close that I can't see it. It's doubt, like doubt of what I'm going to say. I'm like, oh God, and that's just a thought. Like, anyway, I don't want to get too excited because
Oh,
inside is just like,
do get excited, please. I love it. I
right.
love it. Yeah.
And
So, are you recognizing that what's happened is that you just had a shift into a different world, a different perspective of everything, right? So when you say that doubt is just a thought, you're not just talking about doubt. You're talking about thoughts. You're talking about everything that thought touches, which is everything. There's no that cascades through the whole world, that one particular one.
and it's like at first I didn't realize what it was saying, but then I realized, well, doubt is really just the manifestation of feeling less than, feeling not good enough. That thing that
Yeah,
I guess almost
yeah.
everybody has, and it was like, oh, that's what's keeping you down. That's what blocks you. Like, and it's almost like the same exact thing that like it's what pushes me to like reach and grab things to pull in. And it's also the same thing that makes me push things away.
Okay,
It's
okay, but get it. That thing isn't isn't doubt, because doubt is not a thing. Right? You
well,
saw what doubt was.
it's
You saw
nothing.
that the
It's zero.
emptiness of doubt is it has the substantiality of a thought, which is zero substantiality. Right? You saw all of that. So then stop talking like doubt is a thing.
Okay. It, it,
It turns into gossamer. But there is a relationship between you and that illusion of a thing. That relationship is what it was expressing, what you said, what it was expressing. I'm not enough. You know, that's what that's what doubt springs out of. That is the reaction to that thing that seems to be known, but in fact is being just conditioned into you. You know, You weren't born not enough, were you? You learned how to be not enough.
Yeah. So I'm stuck a little bit with not giving it a beingness because I still feel something
Right.
occasionally trying to come on the side or
Yeah, yeah,
sneak
yeah,
in
yeah,
right.
yeah. So stop there. So, but you're accurate so far. Don't go beyond what you can touch. Don't go into meaning. If you stay with what is actual, then what you get is a feeling. And what you were doing was saying, and that feeling means something or other. And it doesn't. It's the stories that are attached to the sensation that make up the feeling and that has a meaning. But those stories, right? And you just said it. See, that's why it's such a huge thing. Those stories are just thoughts. In other words, they have no substance. The only substance they seem to have is our reaction to them. And our reaction to them is what gives them meaning. But when you recognize that those stories are just thoughts, and you know that thoughts are inherently worthless,
So,
so, so what you saw goes a lot further than you think.
I can see like I keep seeing different things as they come up in a totally new light and like, oh, and it's just kind of like it seems like it's endless, but I guess at some
Yeah,
point I'll
yeah,
slow down. But like I don't know, just as I go along, I'm like, oh yeah, there's another one. Like, and that
yeah.
is again the same thing.
You're seeing all the ones that rest on that foundation, and that foundation is gone. So everything that rests on it is going to topple the moment you look at it.
Ah, yes, yes. I don't need to be as heavy-handed as I have been. Yeah, I could just oh, there it is again. That's because that's what I have a tendency to do that. Like, I noticed that as I was trying to separate thought from sensation, I was inadvertently bringing the attention back to the body and reinforcing the sensation of the body. Like, I didn't, anyway, it's kinda like a side thing, but,
Hmm.
it became clear to me that, like, what makes the thoughts seem real is that there's a sensation that happens somewhere around the same time that the thought happens.
Yep.
And usually with me, it seems like I feel a sensation that breaks through because it feels negative usually. And I didn't notice the thought. There was a thought that started it, and I
Yeah.
usually don't notice it. So then I'm like, well, I look into thought. And the old way was I look into thought. I'm like, oh yeah, it's that. And as soon as I had that thought, there'd be more, the sensation would increase. And then I'd be like, go back to the thought, say, well, why did that happen? And like, it's like the proximity in time seems to be what
Yeah. It
makes
seems
us
like
think that they're
the
connected.
one validates the other, and then the other validates that one, and round it goes in a closed loop. They validate each other. The sensation validates the story, and the story validates the sensation.
So
And
like
that's what makes
whole
the illusion seem real.
this whole thing is like how do I describe this? It was like I don't look at this like this doesn't fit into this illusory definition of awakening that I had, right? So I'm not sitting here going like, yeah, I just woke up. No, that's not how I feel. But
Mm,
I'm also having the same. thoughts that I've heard before, like it's not what you expect, or you don't oh, that's it. Like I've heard like Angelo would say things like, "Oh yeah, this guy was like, he would describe what people were saying," and like I'm having those thoughts, but I'm not like I don't feel like this is an awakening. I feel like there is a small. I feel like one lens just got pulled away so that I can see more clearly, and I can inquire a lot easier because I can see it. Like
Yeah.
I revisited the thing with my son's uh, wife, and I thought, well, let me just take it one step further because like it just was clear. Vince always said it's never about what you think it's about. I realized it was my divorce, the samskara from my divorce, all the
Yeah. Yeah.
conditioning that happened from my divorce. So I thought, well, let me, I didn't do anything with it though. Let me just look at it. And so I'm like, let me analyze this. And so I like, oh yeah, yeah, all that thing about the divorce and all that stuff, those are all just thoughts too. Like those are just. So I just went in there and I'm like, no, I can't be guilty. I couldn't have done anything wrong because I don't have control. So those are all just thoughts that are stuck from a past life or a past time, and they are nothing either. Like, so I don't know. I
So
think
you
it's
can
solved already, but I don't know. I won't know until I
yeah,
go
yeah,
back.
yeah,
But I think
for sure.
some of
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
solved.
So you can see the opposite. You can see how when you believe some of those thoughts, it produces a mood which produces the next lot of thoughts. And so we get in this downward spiral into a dark place. And so that's the opposite of what just happened for you. So what just happened was you went up the spiral and you went to go, oh yeah, you know what? That doesn't mean anything. That's that's not even now. It's just a memory. All of a sudden you're going, hello, what's this?
It's almost like the word awakening is like a cruel joke. It's
Mm,
it's like
absolutely. Yeah.
like if you once you like you realize, oh my god, that is just not nothing like what, you think it's what other people are saying, but really it's what you've built
Yeah.
yourself inside.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but you like look at it and go, oh yeah, those people are crazy. That's yeah, it's just this, like it's nothing, there's really nothing to chase, like it's all
Yeah.
bullshit.
Good. I love this. I love this. Welcome to nowhere.
Yeah, I guess if you knew it ahead of time, you might not even look for it. Like, who knows? Maybe you
Yeah.
just wake up
Yeah.
and we're already, and like the term we're already awake, like that now that means something to me. Like everybody's awake. Nobody is not awake. It's just like a couple filters and that desire. I see how like like the four letters 4 and 5, the desire and aversion, like it's almost all of it. It's like each way you look at it almost doesn't matter which way you look at it, they all come together and then they just like it just fits. I don't even know how to say it.
You just did. Yeah. Isn't it crazy? My face is going to split apart with a smile, and and you're going to cry, and over the same stuff. Oh, mate, oh God, I love you. This is
It's like
just so beautiful. Mm.
it's like sadness and joy are the same thing.
Yeah.
Like they're exactly the same thing. There is a thought. There's a lot of years of all the damage we do to ourselves. It's fucking crazy. it's fun to watch all the sensations like flow through. I still feel like a body. Like I still often I still feel them here. I'm working on like realizing that they're just everywhere, but it's kind of fun to just like you divorce. It's easy to put the thought aside and just like not think and just like pay attention to all the sensations that just like flow through. Like it's like
Yeah,
and knowing that oh they're just going through. It's kind of interesting. It's fun to watch them, and they don't mean anything. Anyway.
beautiful. Yeah, yeah. Lots of discoveries, and you won't be able to put words to it. Yeah.
It
You
was
don't need to, yeah.
huh?
Hel- So you don't need to put words to it either. You know, Helen gets it. Mm.
So part of my brain wants to analyze a little bit. Like I'm like, it seems so different when the thought came through. Like almost like it was coming from the side. Like I didn't have anything to do with it, and I know that I'm reaching. Like I because how can I put this? I noticed that my mind is trying to analyze that, and I can see that it's an attempt to reach. Like, oh, how can I reproduce this? Like how can I recognize the next time whatever it was, the right brain or God or whatever it was, puts something in there that I should pay attention to. And now I'm just reaching.
Yeah, but that's great. That's all right. You see that happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what this is
Like
all about. It's not about doing or not doing or happening or not happening. It's about seeing or not. But seeing is where the incredible adventure will be for you now. Just seeing things that you've not seen before. You think, how the hell could I not see them? There they are. Yeah.
so I'm not sure if this is true, but I think I'm noticing less like when I'm still having internal thoughts, but most of them are all like about like, oh, is that? That's or whatever that is, or it's just these new discoveries. But I don't remember too much self-talk about like I got to do that, I want to do this. I don't really, I don't know if it's gone, but it seems like a lot of it, maybe all of it. I don't know. It just seems like a
Yeah.
lot of that is reduced or gone.
You'll see. You'll see. But things will become normal very, very quickly. And so you might find that you start also very quickly forgetting the past,
Mm.
which is fine. But yeah, but don't be
I'm
surprised. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to see that's reaching, but I can't help it. I'm looking forward to
Now, looking forward is not necessarily reaching. Okay, looking
uh,
if you're looking forward to it with a feeling of sucking it into you, okay, that's reaching. If you're looking forward to it with a light-hearted curiosity, that's not reaching. That's discovering. You're just too critical of yourself. You've been that way all along, of course, so it's part of your personality and it continues to a degree. So the behavior will happen for some time after it starts to happen in a, how can I put it, an empty fashion. So the behavior will be there, but there will be no energy in it. And then it will stop
mm,
altogether. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Right now, though, I still feel like I'm not though. Now I'm still just actively, not actively. It's not like I'm working at it, but things just, I keep seeing different things from, oh, that's what that is. Like it's just, so I'm kind of like still in a process of
Yeah.
new shit's coming up all the time. So I'm just like, oh, oh. I don't know. We'll see how
Yeah.
long.
I kind of expect that'll go on for a while. Yeah. But it will slow down as things normalise. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty wonderful. It's good stuff. Yeah. So you're having a chemo evening, are you, Helen? Or whatever time it is for you in the morning. Mm.
No, I'm going home today. I've had my kidney out, so it's been a rough ride, let's say. But yeah, it's done now. So no, I'm not having chemo because, well, hopefully that be the result. It's just been cut out, so that's been done, and
So
I'm
they
just waiting
think
for the
they
result.
got it all, do they?
Well, hopefully, and then they obviously look at the mass and then find out if there's healthy
Yeah,
surrounding tissue and all
yeah.
of that sort of stuff. I mean, it should be if they've taken the whole kidney. That's what they've done, just taking it all away. So
Mm.
yeah, but
Right.
it's been strange. I've noticed. I had a lot of history. My mother was a nurse, and she was very, she's very controlling. Very, had a lot of problems when I was young with the relationship I had with mum. But I've noticed while I've been in here, it's cropped up a lot that when they come to me, is I'm wanting to be a good girl. Have I been a good girl? Have I been a good girl? A lot of these thoughts coming up. Have I done what you've asked me to do? Yeah, I'll be good. I'll do that. I'll be a good girl. And so there's a lot of that been coming up. But I'm just trying to watch it. But when we talked about fear like last time, and I couldn't remember what I was absolutely petrified. There are a few things that absolutely petrified me, but one you spoke about it was hello.
Hi, Helen.
Hi.
So you've been
sorry.
discharged.
Yes. Sorry, Vin.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
No worries.
I'm here to ask, you have enough amlodipine at home?
Yes, I have.
You have, yeah. It's just
Thank you.
Clomexiclav we will give you, and it will give you tinzaparin. Do you know how to do the injection?
Yeah, done it. Brilliant. Thanks, nurse. Yeah. Sorry.
When you coming to take you home?
Yeah, 2-ish or 3-ish. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry.
No worries.
So yeah, it's again. Have I been a good girl? Have I done what if you told me to do? Rather than it just being happening as it's happening. But yeah, all this. But also, the big fear was. I woke up one day. I remember at the time I was coming through all these realizations. It was a span of about 6 months, I would say. I can't really remember, but every time I slept, it was a really deep other world. Well, it wasn't even otherworldly. It was real deep sleep that I knew when I came out. It was something. But a few times I woke up and the world was flat. It was in 2D and it was right up to my face. It was really odd. Only lasted a few seconds because it really frightened me. So it shook me out of it. But because you were talking about that, the world in sort of like 2D and flat, and it was right. It wasn't even out there. It was flat against my face. It felt like
There was no distance as well. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Distance had gone. And scale and everything had gone. And that way I thought, really, I'm headed for the, I'm headed for the straight
definitely
jacket,
not. No, that's
awesome.
that's Feta 6 and 7 stuff, that one. Yeah. It generally that's an experience that will only last a short time, but the ramifications of it And I would hate you to miss out on the ramifications of it, because that's where the shift is in that. And what you can maybe recognize just from the memory of that when it happened is that distance, just like time, is a mental construct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it is. It is.
Yep. And you
And
saw it. You saw that.
oh yeah. But at the time, because I didn't know all the stuff around it like I know now, I've been taken gently through it latterly. But that the time that of all of those awakenings and like things just emerge and happen in the moment. There is no time. All of that came together. It was really, really frightening. But now I've got time to sort of, it's all settled and all percolating through, all of the fetters percolating through. It does make sense. But I never call myself an artist, but I do paint and draw. And when you are representing what you see, you are actually representing it flat. So all of that stuff came about in my artwork as well. That sort of making something look round that's going to be on a 2D piece of paper, and you suddenly realise, well, hold on a minute, it's all a bit 2D. But when I really saw it, it was like bit of a bone shaker, really. But yeah, but another thing, I was listening to Pernilla last night, and another one when I spoke to I can't remember his name, but a chap again around that time, and I suddenly saw grasping, and I didn't know I knew I was grasping, but I just presumed it was material stuff or whatever. But I realised yesterday from what Pernilla was saying, it's a grasping of knowledge, of knowing, of I need to know this, and I can feel it like pulling in, and it's only very subtle. I mean, it's not as graspy as pulling in because it's so subtle, but it's there, and I can't seem to just let it happen without this being sort of pulled in and grasping. So that was that yeah, because that was a big thing that I saw when I was with this other bloke, can't remember his name, but I saw this grasping but I didn't know what I was grasping. But now I've got a little bit more understanding of what's being grasped.
Right. And so
yeah,
we look forward to the next time you get the opportunity to see that more detail about that. Right? Because it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not separate from that 2D thing that you experienced when you experienced
Right.
that. Right. What the exercises that lead up into that stuff are to you. Well, what they say to do is you look straight ahead and you focus on what you're focusing, but then you become aware of your peripheral vision, and in your peripheral vision, there's just a blur. And if you then turn your head towards one of those blurs, the moment you recognize something, what it is, a label will pop up and you'll label it, right? But subtly underneath that will be some part of you that will go out and connect with it, right? Now, and then if you stay with that, you can then get something coming back from it connecting with you, right? And it might go out from your head and come back and connect in your heart, or it varies different people. But there is this really, we're just imagining it almost, this sensation of being, of like a cobweb, a spider web that goes out and then comes back,
Oh wow.
right? And that is what we're using the mind to create a 3D effect so that we can maneuver our way through it and around it and in it.
Wow.
So this is how the mind creates the physical world in the way that makes sense to it. See, if an insect was looking at the same thing that you're looking at, it's going to see everything in an ultraviolet or some other spectrum. I don't know which one, yeah. And so consequently it has different ideas. So we have this binocular vision and bi-aural hearing that so we can triangulate things and produce the illusion of distance. But it is an illusion that is produced by the mind for the sake of being able to live in it.
Right, yeah. Wow, fascinating, absolutely fascinating. I've yet to see that and to see it more clearly, but I will do.
You've seen it. You've just not recognised the ramifications of it because it came a bit quick. It's a bit early in the game for you to be seeing that, but here you are. You know, so it's not early, is it? That's right.
Well,
There you are.
it happened, and yeah.
Yeah, so watch what flows from those seeings. You know, everyone, especially these really weird ones. Just sit back and go, okay, what could it be saying? What might it be telling me? And just let whatever comes to mind come to mind. Let whatever experience happens, just flow with it, and you will experience. And the next thing you'll go, oh, ah. The only words I could put to that would be meaningless to anybody but me. But it was like, oh, I was just in the presence of God.
Oh Lord! Oh, how wonderful! How wonderful!
Well, it's wonderful. You know it. You know it. That's why you're feeling like you're feeling. It is wonderful.
I so love that. Just to be in the presence of God. I just sometimes feel I'm not allowing it in some way. But it's not. If it's not come, it's not come. But it hopefully it will.
Believe me, whether you realise it or not, you wouldn't be feeling the way you're feeling if it wasn't already part of your experience. You've just forgotten about it.
Yeah. It feels like that. Yeah.
So the word remember suggests that we're going to put a member back on that we lost, a member like our arm or our leg or something. We're going to remember. We're going to join it up again.
Join it up again.
Yes.
Yeah. Join it up again. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Wonderful. So fortunate to have gone down this path and found what I found. And it's been painful and bloody hard work and bloody painful. But hey, you know.
Yeah. But the gratefulness that you feel is just so it's tangible. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so grateful. And how many years I've got left on this earth. It doesn't seem to matter now.
No, absolutely doesn't. 5 seconds, 5 minutes, 5 years, doesn't matter. It makes no difference. 10 years, 15, 50 years, wouldn't matter.
No. Yeah. And it's lovely hearing people seeing new things and on here, you know, and like Scott finding but not finding, you know what I mean? It is things coming but not coming, and awakening's all a load of bull crap, and it's quite lovely to hear. But I would torture, like you said, I would torture ourselves over this. It's been years I've tortured myself. not doing something right, or I'm doing it wrong, or I should have it by now, and life's cruel. I've learned so much, and it's not about the mind, and it takes a long time to realise that.
It's really weird. I know I've calculated in the past that I was formerly a seeker for 45 years before I woke up.
Yeah,
And you know what? It sounds like a long time, that 45 years, but you know what? It feels to me like about 5 seconds.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I started when I was about 19, so what's that, 50 odd years, 50 years, something like that. Yeah. And like I said, it's been painful, but and a lot of it I just didn't really understand, but like Krishnamurti, but I knew
Takes a
how to
while to be
read it.
ready sometimes. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And then all these different pathways and meeting these different people. But yeah, extraordinary. It's been extraordinary. And the thing is, nobody I know knows about it. My husband doesn't really know. He just thinks I'm off my head at times. Nobody knows.
I've got that too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But I know you know. Yeah. And that gives
Yeah.
me great heart. Excellent.
I mean, it
Yeah.
does. Yeah, it's unbelievable being in this group. It's been,
Yeah.
Mm, yeah, yeah. Mm.
And part of the joy that I got from listening to you, Scott, was that I feel like now you know a whole lot more about what I'm yap about sometimes. It's just, yeah, I feel more heard, if you like. Yeah.
It is amazing how many times you can say something and it doesn't, or you can receive something and it doesn't really land.
Yeah.
You can hear it clear as day and it doesn't land sometimes. Like it's never about what you think it's about. Like I knew exactly what you meant. I heard you say it probably 10, 20, 30 times. But then when I was presented with a perfect setup, I didn't go forward. You know what I mean? Until after this happened, when I was able to see clearly, like, oh yeah, I didn't take the next step. Like apparently I didn't hear what he said, it's crazy.
How's your holidays been, Maya?
Hello. I think I shouldn't talk today.
I was going to say something to you because I saw you like this for such a long time. Like she's got something to say and she doesn't want to say it.
No. No, not at all. I just, it's a hug day. It's a hug day for me here. And I can just send you a heart as big as the universe. I don't know.
Okay. Here it is.
All three of you. All three of you.
These feelings that you're talking about, like I've never had these feelings towards people before. Like my standard feeling, like when I walk out into the street, it used to be where as soon as my brain picked up a apparent other, it was always like, oh, what are they going to do to me? Like what negative thing is going to come from this apparent other, just the default starting point. And so when I first started coming to these meetings, I would be looking at the screen and going, oh my God, I love these people. What the fuck is this? I'm sorry about my language, but like, it's just like, that's how I felt. Like, what the hell is this? Like, I love these people. I don't, you could say that I don't even know you, but yet I know you better than most people ever know another. Anyway, just had to say it because
I'm very nice and kind to everyone. But when I come home, when I talk with my people, then all kinds of stuff comes out, and my husband says, "You're a misanthrope." But like you say, in this group, and the people I'm kind and nice to, they don't see me. They don't see me. They don't see that I'm kind and nice because there's some kind of workaround. There's a way around it.
It's like the wall.
Yeah. Despite the kindness and niceness.
For me, it seems like the wall is made of doubt, or whatever doubt is. It's nothing, right?
I can just hope I will know what my wall is made of someday.
What wall?
No wall.
It's another thought.
Yeah. So,
It's like people from when they're a child growing up, they get given a suit of armor to put on, and as they get bigger, they get replacements, and as they get big enough to get into actual fights, they get a different kind of armor, and so everybody's got this suit of armor called the self that protects them from
I like it.
danger that could turn up, dinosaurs coming from behind the rock or whatever. So everybody's on high alert all the time. And so when they look, they're imagining that danger coming out from behind places, and they see it, or they see the aura of it all the time. And the consequence is that they are always in protective mode. And so when they look at you, they're looking at you through that lens of their armor. So you can't expect them to see you. They're not going to see you. They're too until they feel safe in themselves. They can only see the potential danger. It should evoke roll on the floor laughing out loud. I think that's the an anachronism that they use in Facebook or whatever. FLOL or something like that. Roll on the floor laughing out loud at the idea that anybody can possibly understand me. What a joke. I don't understand me. How can anybody else understand what goes on for me? How can I expect to be understood? It would probably be the first criteria to detect insanity. Do you feel understood? And if we turn that around, it takes a big load off the need or the imperative to understand other people. At best we can have is some fantasy about what might be going on for them. And if we recognise it as that, we're going to hold it fairly lightly. We're not going to insist about anything about what they might have meant or what anything means. If he's like my dog Kathleen, absolutely insistent, keep patting me, keep touching me.
They know when I think they pick up on emotion.
Sure. For sure they do.
So my story is she's sending love here.
Mm. Yeah, there's a little love here. Mm. So how have you been for the last little while?
It's I'm in Houston, Texas, so it's 5 a.m, and typical for me uh to struggle with getting good quality sleep, but I do go to bed pretty early, so I'm glad I could join everyone.
Mm. Yeah, I'm glad.
Yes, yes. I've been sort of binging on the Fetters, the awakening curriculum, and probably some selfing and seeking going on,
Well,
combined with just like true curiosity and what seems like this is what's a devotion to this has been true for me for a good part of my life, I guess. So I listened to an interview with Rupert Spira and Tammy Simon yesterday, and he said something, I might not get it exactly right, but it felt similar to my experience that when he got caught up or out of alignment with, excuse my language, it may not, my words may be really different than the way
yeah,
you all kind of hear,
don't worry about it. Yeah.
but like identified, I guess. Um, that doesn't happen to him very often. And Tammy asked him, well, how do you bring yourself back to your essential self? And he said, well, one of two ways. One is that I just remember, oh, my true nature. The other is to go into the feeling that's the untrue, the
Mm-hmm.
and then he said, it's one or the other just happens, as if there's a knowing, and either way, and so that just really resonated for me. And as I was listening to a lot of her lessons on doubt, and oh, I'm so there. And for all of you, I've had 2 one-on-ones with Vince recently because I'm in the midst of a challenging life circumstance with being an only child with no children and a widow, and now responsible for my aging mother and putting her in a residential care home, and all the challenges that have come up with that. I saw so much with the doubt, like I just questioning myself. And of course, Vince helped me identify a couple of beliefs that were just like tugging me around like by the nose. So I found doubt arising. Like if I would just say, I don't want to go into the psychology of it. This feeling is this emotion that's, causing these uncomfortable bodily, and I even use the word uncomfortable, like I don't know, but
You can use any
conditioned
word. Yeah, I get you.
yeah, the conditioned mind has labeled these sensations anxiety. So then what would arise is like, well, I want to move away from that. There was a, a, a desire to move away from that. And then I would say, oh, that's spiritual bypass. Like, but wait a minute, maybe that's exactly what was supposed to happen. So anyway, the little summary, I thought I have watched a few of these recordings as well, and seen a couple of you here, and I just really felt a soul tug to be here, to engage, to actually just share what's going on with me, and
Yeah,
because
excellent.
it'll help me, and I hope it helps someone else.
It will, for sure. And it's a shame you missed the early part of the thing, but you when look at the recording,
Okay.
Scott was talking about exactly what you were talking about earlier, and he had some
Yep.
amazing breakthroughs with it. So definitely watch the video of it, the first bit of it, because he's talking to you, baby. He's saying exactly
Well,
what. Yeah.
Scott, I had to get a cup of decaf and let a few dogs out, so I will listen to the recording. Yeah. And it's interesting because I just talked to Vince, I don't know, 48 hours ago maybe, and shared that I wanted to come, and then I said, "Oh, I can be shy. Don't want to turn my camera on." And then Vince is like, "It's all okay." And then here I am, and just honestly, the individuals here, there's love, there's acceptance, there's just yeah, there's just a welcoming, there's a sense of home already, so thank you all.
Thank you for contributing to that. That's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for you're welcome here. You're wanted, so you're in the right spot.
Well, I'll say a little more. That this this binge watching of the awakening curriculum, the word trust comes up, that I can trust this body yes, body no. Like for me, it's even there's a knowing that's sometimes the body, but I mean sometimes even a sentence in my mind. I mean, it isn't always the body, but if I slow down, I just know it has and it just occurred to me at one point, like you the pendulum has swung a little too far into diving into this better work. It just started to feel, and so I just like no beating myself up, no trying to judge, no just like okay, just your hand's getting a little too close to the hot stove or something, like just take your hand away and you know what to do or not to do. And so much, I guess that's conditioning coming undone. This conditioning that there's a certain way to do things and a right way and a wrong way. And it's like whatever the fuck is happening it's just happening.
Mm.
And sometimes what's happening is this mind really caught up in looking for answers till I sort of like something sort of just shakes me up and it's like, does that feel like the right place to be looking and spending my time? Well, it did until it didn't. I have a friend who's a coach, and her background was in ACT. And then I met her in a more spiritual community. And anyway, she said something about, well, be authentic. And I thought, oh yeah, that's a psychology coach term. And then I just let that word marinate, and I thought, oh my gosh, I that word has a different feel to it, a different meaning. Like just authentic is like it is what it is.
Mm.
This body mind here and this.
For me,
It's all okay.
the magic in that word is that it takes away any consideration for how things should be, how they should appear, how they should look. They are what they are, and that's it. There's no going away from that. So, how will I be perceived is an irrelevant question. It doesn't matter. We don't know, and it doesn't matter. So authentic now, but it also points to this: if you tell the truth, it's like there's a little blip of energy used. But if you tell a lie, that blip is much bigger, and it has all sorts of additional blips that go along with it. So you have to remember, for example, who you've lied to and what lie you've said and all the details of that lie. And that's exhausting. That takes a lot of energy. And so the person that gets around lying usually gets around with a body full of stress hormones.
Yes, yes. The lies for me have been like trying to live up to some good enough standard, right? So the lie is a statement or an action that I think I should do because that's what good little daughters, good little girls do. Well, that's a freaking lie because there's no desire to do that thing for my mother. No, then I can be honest. Well, I don't really want to do that, but I'm going to because I feel responsible. But I've been doing a lot of things that are fueled by not being true to who I am, trying to live into this role of a good enough daughter. And I know the difference. I know the difference. Like, I'm doing it because I want to maintain an image, like you said, what other people think. And the crazy thing is that other people, including my own mother, like my mother is on the top of the list of telling me how grateful she is for everything I've done for her and how much she loves me and what a good daughter I am. But I guess this conditioned self identity of you're going to die if you don't matter unless you're a perfect good little girl must just, I don't even know what I think about subconscious, but I feel it. I feel something that is so illogical, so inauthentic, that's got me by the nose.
Yeah. It's amazing how that works, isn't it? What a mind boggle. I mean, it's contradictions upon contradictions all living together.
I mean, when I'm in the middle of it, it doesn't feel good. Now I'm laying on the floor laughing out loud, whatever that thing is. Like, it is. It's hilarious.
Yeah, Scott's he's back again. Scott will tell you that he experienced the absolute uh, insubstantiality of thoughts. And the dominoes are still toppling for him from that one. Yeah. It's easy to say that thoughts have no substance, they're just ideas. And although it's very close, it seems like a world away where the realization of that is that they don't actually exist. They appear to exist for an instant when we're experiencing them, but then they're gone and we just experience the memory of them, which is even less substantial than the actual original thought. They're always stories, and all stories are fairy stories. Which means that we've we have to reevaluate everything. What we used to take for granted was all of the stories that hung off the stories that hung off the stories that hung off those stories that gave us a way to behave, what to feel, what to see. And all of a sudden, when we don't have that anymore, we've got to work it out for ourselves again from scratch. Oh, what am I really seeing? And then you go, oh, this is almost too much. I'm seeing so much stuff, I don't know what to do with it. It is literally an alien landscape that we find ourselves in, where we have to go, well, all these people are still behaving like cardboard cutouts of themselves. They're still behaving the way they appear to behave, but now all of a sudden, it seems to me really weird. It seems crazy. Why do they do that? Why do they behave like that? Why do they think like that? I can't understand it. It doesn't make any sense. Oh well, I guess I'll never understand it. That's okay. And there's another freedom, another jail door opens up. That's okay to not know anything. I've mentioned this before, but it's popped up again, so I'll mention it again. The way I see Feta 10, when I've speculated about various things, and this has come up to me for Feta 10 stuff, the final Feta. It's like when you get the divorce papers that officially celebrate the divorce between you and your thoughts. I thought that was lovely. I thought that was really a perfect analogy.
I feel like I've filed for divorce, but something hasn't
Yeah,
signed the
that
paper
hasn't gone
yet.
through yet. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it hasn't been. I'm waiting.
Yeah,
Can
yeah,
the divorce please be finalized now?
yeah.
And whatever, Scott, you're like I've watched the unfolding of realization happen where I can intellectually see that thought is dead, thought is bogus, thought is here and gone. And the embodiment, I guess, that, and for me, things start out intellectually. But it sounds like, Scott, you had some real deeper insight than just an intellectual understanding of that.
It definitely was something different. Like it even came in differently, but I just wanted to say what's coming up for me. Like you're talking about like this intellectual thing and how you're binging on the fetters, and it feels so familiar because like I approached this from a state of desperation, and like I've had two times where I've grabbed onto different things. One, I grabbed onto a Buddhist temple that I attended remotely, and then I just tried to suck everything out of it, and then I had a breakdown and let go of it. And then when I went to LU, something about the black and white, there's a beginning and there's an end. Loved that, and I just tried to suck everything out of that. And then some things happened, and I realized, well, I didn't realize anything. There was some dissonance, and I had another breakdown. When I say a breakdown, I just mean, yeah, it was a breakdown, emotional, emotional everything. And I was forced. I didn't let go of it. I was forced to let go of it because just so uncomfortable. And then, I know, and you can't just like follow other people and, you know, expect the same result because we're all different. But I did notice, and we were so similar in that, like grabbing on and really wanting to, consume everything. Two things. One is I started to I thought I had slowed down a lot. Like I thought I feel like I was living in like half speed or something like that. But then I realized that I was not, that I was really living at my next, uh, I was living in the next moment every time. I was never in a present moment. As I was doing one task, I was thinking about the next task. And so I started to slow down even more. I'm like, okay, I'm going to just move in slow motion. And every time I go from one task to another, I do just do a quick little mini meditation and bring myself create an end to one task and go on to the next. I don't know if that helped, but I think it really did, because when I went back and started looking at the fetters again, I just oh, well, let me just read one sentence. Let me read another. Let me read it again. So I just started reading it really slow and just and not worrying about if I got it or not, And I think that has something to do with it. But there's a technique that I don't know if I made it up. I probably read it somewhere, and I really feel like this has something to do with the issue of realizing that thoughts are not real. And so for a while now, when I feel, normally when I have a disturbance, I usually don't notice a thought when I have a mild disturbance. It's usually the thought is somewhere. It's either I didn't notice it or it's just underneath or something, but there's usually a thought, and there always is a thought. And I've noticed this disturbance. And so I just get in this habit of, as soon as I notice a disturbance, I look, is there a thought? And then I don't go into the content of the thought, but I just acknowledge there's a thought. And it only takes a few seconds for the thought to just dissipate in the memory. And then I go back and look for the sensation that sent me to the thought. And I say, oh, that's just a sensation. And there is no thought. And I did that over and over and over again. Every time I had a little or big disturbance. And I feel like that helped whatever is back there that we can't get to. It helped that part realize that, oh yeah, it really is nothing. It has nothing to do with this. Anyway, I don't know if it helped. I don't know if it's understandable, but I felt like that needed to come out.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I've questioned recently when feeling or emotion arises, is there even a thought? I don't know that I know that for sure. Most of the time it seems like that, but I kind of, for me, go back to the statement by Rupert Spira that one or the other thing seems to happen. I either do investigate the thought or just drop into just be curious about the bodily sensation, the emotion or the feeling, or if something causes a waking up to my true nature, just sort of letting that happen. And I can really relate to the having a challenge, Scott, for me over here, this body mind, because Vince had even made the suggestion to me, oh, one lesson in the awakening curriculum is chock full of, because Pernilla is so brilliant, just latch on to one idea and sit with that. And I do think that's super useful at times, but at times it's not. I don't see any downside to slowing down. And just to share, 4.5 years ago, my husband died while I held him in my arms when he took his last breath during COVID. My business had been rug pulled out from underneath me. I had life really slowed me down, and I did nothing for a year and a half. And I had a real profound, for a few days after he died, I was in this empty, just state of being no thing, no one. And at the time I didn't realize what it was. And my life changed after that, but I can still get on that hamster wheel of, I don't want to call it seeking, because, but maybe it is. I don't know what that word means either. I mean, there is a genuine curiosity. I'm devoted to it. I feel a call to share with other people. So I think I look at those things kind of through that lens of, well, I hear something in someone else's words that could help wake someone else up, that's beyond the words that would just come from here. But I really relate to your story, Scott, so much. Thank you so much for sharing. And I'm just kind of, bleh. I decided to show up and be
You've been great.
authentic and see what comes out. So,
And we'll never know probably all the benefits that listening to you does for the rest of us. We benefit in ways that we probably will never know, or we may at some point, but you're totally beneficial just being here and speaking. Just being here.
thanks. That means a lot. That's that validation, Scott, that you know, it's great when we can get it. You know, it's not necessary, but sure as hell, it sure is nice to feel like you matter, that somebody else cares, that those are my stories that are coming undone. Not good enough, need to be perfect. I don't matter. Nobody really cares. It's all up to me. Everything just sits on my shoulders. Me, the separate self. Like, I see through that, and then the conditioning or whatever, just you jump right back into that, operating from that delusion, and everything what you said, it matters. It's nice. I thank you. Thanks to everybody here.
I'll second that.
Vince, I think I would like to ask you to turn off the recording.